Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're covering one of the most nerve-wracking parts of your build, cutting a hole inside of your brand new van. Let's go. Rule number 1 here at AVC is never cut a hole in a van until you have something to plug it. So I just opened the box for my window, I checked the product, made sure it's the correct product, we have no defects, and it's ready for install. I removed the mounting trim ring for the interior, and we're just going to loosely place this up on our spacing here and make sure we understand the fitment of this trim ring. I've done lots of these, so I know the CRL FW293L is going to fit our factory opening for the Ford Transit. Step 1, we're going to have to cut out our support ribs so that we can gain access to the metal we need to cut and remove for our window. We're going to take our straight edge, and we're just going to trace a line right along the tops of these ribs so we can cut and remove them. Today we're using an oscillating flush cut saw to go ahead and cut these ribs out. So we're going to mount ear protection on. We're going to get to it. The way I like to do it is I will start by lightly moving the tool along my path, tracing the area, kind of etching a line, and then I'm going to come in and give it a real cut after that. Our ribs are cut free from the body of the van. Now we just need to cut the adhesive that's on the back side of this. You might be tempted to just peel these things out of here. Never do that because you might warp the panels on the outside. With our ribs cut away, we're going to cut a hole in here so we can get our nibblers in to remove the metal. With our access hole cut, we're ready to start cutting and removing metal. Now there's a few different ways we can do this. We can use our trusty Amazon nibbler that we might have used for our roof rack. If you have a jigsaw at home, this is going to be an easy one to do too. Keep in mind you'll need to do a little bit of additional prep work to protect the van paint from the hot shards that are going to come from your jigsaw. Today we're going to be using a nibbler. So the nibbler is really great. It cuts through this stuff like butter. It does not produce any shards, any excess scrap, anything like that. It just takes a little bit of finesse, and it's a very specific tool. But however you cut metal at your house, it's going to work. All right, the first thing we're going to do is just cut the meat of the window out. We're not going to worry about getting close to the edges, anything like that. In fact, let's not get close to the edge. We're just going to cut the bulk of this window out. Now, I do have a helper outside. Ian, poke your finger through there. Okay, he's going to catch that metal as we cut it off the vehicle, so that we don't get any scrapes or scratches on the outside of the van. So as I start to cut, I like to cut down and cut the bottom of the metal out first, finishing with the top. That way, all of my scrap is supported by the top of the metal, that connection point, and then as we cut that off, it's ready to grab. Now we're going to take a second pass. We're going to go close to the edge, but we're not going to cut the edge yet. Probably going to leave these corners really wide and then try to get our straights pretty close in this pass. Now I'm going to cut from the outside because this back of the saw is not going to let us get these tight corners. So now on our third and final pass, we can get as close to this perimeter cut as possible. With our cut complete, we're ready to test fit. With our test fit successful, we're ready to prime our opening. At this point, we are ready for final installation. Ian's going to help me get the window into place, and then he's going to hold it from the outside while I run around and start screwing from the inside. So I like to start by putting just one screw here at the top of the trim ring. Then I line up the seam of my mounting flange here at the bottom. That way I don't get any overlap. Then I can start adding extra screws around the perimeter. With our screws tensioned, our install is complete. We're ready to move on to interior finishing. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, let's take care of that too. We'll see you on the next video. Now we just need to cut the adhesive. Ow. Cut our finger. Now we just have to cut our finger on the metal. All right.